Sonne lite.
It's going to be the central post where I'm going to do actual carving, but I'm going to walk around and talk about your trees individually, set you tasks that you could be getting on with, and then I'll just retreat to my table and do carving. But if there's any problems, come over, ask me a question. Jobs which need a lot of wiring, we've got Jose and Alex to help with the wiring, just for getting things done in the time that we have.
Wow!
Now tell me, who is Thor Holvila?
Thor Holvila is a Swedish bonsai pot maker, partially self-taught, partially schooled by being an apprentice for a ceramist, Paula Lindfors, for 7 years. I'm seeing myself as you have the people who carry the culture. You have the ones who repeats and keeping the art maintaining. But you also have those that you put in a canoe with a pig and a coconut, and you push them out in the ocean and say, like, paddle towards the horizon.
Yeah.
If you find an island, come back and tell us. If you're not, bye bye. And I'm the guy in the canoe. I'm paddling towards unknown territory, and I hope that I can bring something back.
Yeah. Coming from Sweden and I mean breaking through in the Asian divisions, how has that affected your life?
Are we talking about Japan now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Japan, for example.
Yeah, I'm going to Japan this November.
Oh.
Yeah. To work with the Japanese potter Hideme Katoka. I'm going to stay for a month, and I'm going to use his studio and his tools, and so in that way I am reconnecting with Japan and tradition.
Do you know actually how long time does it take for an apprentice to become like a fully taught pot master or a potter in Japan?
In Japan, they usually it just goes in the family, right? And it goes to generation. You grow into pottery, and I mean it's a trade, also. I mean, no, but the thing is, like, it's like martial arts. Like I was beginning to tell you, my father was a judo instructor. So I grew up in a dojo. I was. They made a small judo suit that was that big for me. Yeah, and I had all the masters up on the wall. You know, I remember those black and white Japanese guys looking down on me. You know, and the smell of the dojo. Yeah, that was the thing. I knew that they were masters, and the spirits were in the dojo, and I remember that. And that's the thing. You need that discipline to get down to work, but then you need, if you're fighting, you can't just be fighting by the book. You have to read your opponent, and you have to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. You need to have discipline, and you need to have all the rules and all the history and knowledge, but then you have to be able to adapt to what's happening. And I mean, like I said earlier, art is changing all the time, otherwise it wouldn't exist. And we have to be able to adapt all the time. And I think this is maybe this is adapting to what's happening in the bonsai world now, going to Japan and connecting with that, and hopefully bring something back. But I think that Japan also needs to reconnect or connect with the rest of the world, and especially the West and Europe.
Would you say that they have been isolated for a long time with the whole thing with bonsai, the whole culture?
Yeah, and I think that they have chosen to be isolated, just like I isolate myself in my studio. I mean, I go down in I have my my rituals, and I go down and I start to work, and you work by yourself. You're always by yourself and isolated. I mean, being a man is to listen to your thoughts and follow your dreams and standing strong, and it's all about that. And I think also as a nation, Japan is very protective of the traditions, and I think that's just great. That's what we have up here as well.
Yeah.
The people up here in the north of Sweden is not traders like they are in the south. These people up here are hunters, and they adapt to the reality. Otherwise they would be dead. I mean,
yeah, that makes
here
sense.
is life and death for people here to be able to adapt.
Probably been for ages.
Yeah.
Lifetimes.
Yeah. Here in Dalarna, we are just on the border for. If you just go a few miles down to Mora, then you have the farmers and the traders that was selling iron and furs and leather to the Romans and all that, and was shipping it out in the Baltic Sea. And here was unknown territory. From here was they thought that people, with cyclops were living here, and this is really, really unknown.
Heathens.
Yeah. And actually in Dalarna they still talk. They have their own language. It's not a dialect.
I know about that actually.
And they understand the people on Iceland. They can talk with the people on Iceland.
Really?
Yeah. And they wrote with runes.
Where's the connection with that?
No, it was just that it was so isolated here. So the language didn't get polluted from the south. So they talked like the Norse, the Vikings. They still do, and they wrote with runes until 1916. They have so it's the isolation, and
when we're talking about
Vikings. Getting off the
yeah.
subject. Oh yeah.
When we talk about Vikings and the Nordic part of the world, and us living in Sweden, being a part of that, how is your take on that in your work? How much pride do you take in the Nordic culture?
A lot. I mean, I am the product of all my ancestors. When I look at this land, I see a pyramid of people building this for us, for me, and I have to take care of that, because if I don't, I mean, I believe that when I die one day, when I get over that line on the other side, my ancestors going to stand there and they're going to say, what did you do with that? Why didn't you take care of that? It's not going to be God sitting on a throne and saying like, hey, left or right, it's going to be my ancestors, and I carry that with me. When I'm sitting in my car and going out in Europe, scared, going to a big convention for the first time and knowing that I'm going to meet all these people, in my backseat, the backseat of the car sits my grandparents and everyone. We are like 250 people going now. I'm not alone.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a huge family.
Yeah. They are sitting around here now.
Yeah, that's how you feel.
Yeah. So I'm not alone. I have the strength, and I have the responsibility to carry their work and their name into the future. I'm just one, little branch, but there's a big tree behind me.
And now, for the final question, I guess,
Yeah.
that everyone is wondering about the Scandinavian bonsai retreat.
Yeah.
What is this, Thor? What are we experiencing right now?
I don't know.
Do we know it?
We don't.
Maybe we shouldn't.
No, I mean it's it's a seed that
It's a
will
seed.
become a plant, and what that plant is, we don't know. Looking at the seed, but I hope that the people that came this year.
Yeah.
My idea is that this is going to. I want to bring something back to bonsai because I have received so much, and I'm just so thankful for that. But I want to bring something, a fire into the Swedish bonsai scene. I want Europe to Sweden become a part of European bonsai scene. When I go down to meet other people out in the world, and especially in Europe, I can see that they are connected. You know, they share so much, and we are a little bit isolated. So I want people up here to.
Would you say that we are lacking that in Sweden? This connection that you talk of?
We are behind.
We are behind.
We are behind, and that's natural. I mean, we're up north. We have a short season. We don't have as many species and all that. But I think that we are so few, so we don't have that. We don't have the different branches and in the community. So we have to bring that fresh blood.
Walking around and talking with people, I have seen that people are they I can see on their faces they are smiling, happiness. They're feeling welcome.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's what we hope for, and that's why we call it a retreat. We don't call it a camp or a event or festival. We call it a retreat because that's what it's retreating from the noisy cities and finding yourself and relaxing and being together 24 hours and just letting your fart out.
Exactly, letting some air go.
Yeah.
Well, it was very interesting to talk with you.
Yeah.
Really, and I think this is the start to something really great.
I hope so.
For all of us. Thank you, Thor.
Thank you.
Let's